Hello and welcome to the Tongue of the Trees. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer, and this video is what is jasmine essential oil good for? So, first things first, it's not an essential oil, it's an absolute for the most part. So what is the difference? Well, it's not usually obtained by steam distillation. That's the only difference. So if you see Jasmine Absolute or if you see Jasmine Enfleurage, snap the person's hand off for an Enfleurage, which is beautiful. If I show you the card, you can see the keyword is intensity, but I want to show you the tiny little, tiny little white, creamy white flowers that the essential oil comes from, or the Absolute comes from. And when they do it with Enfleurage, what they do is they lay all hundreds and hundreds of thousands of the white petals into vegetable oil, and they leave them out in these beautiful frames to absorb in the sun, and then the oils leach out the beautiful fragrance and the properties of the oil into the vegetable oil. And so these keep getting swapped and changed. And I think they're there for maybe 4 days. They just keep changing them and changing them, pouring more and more and more of the jasmine in. So that's an enfleurage. So if you get the opportunity to be able to get one of those, do it now. So I do have an enfleurage here, and they are just beautiful. I have to say, I'm a jasmine girl anyway. I love jasmine. If you think of the white flowers, you can, you know that anything with white flowers is ruled by the moon, and moon rules our emotions, but it's also very good for people who have excess pitta. So somebody with red hair and very pale skin, pitta dosha means you're extremely reactive to things, reactive emotionally, your skin reacts, your digestion reacts. And jasmine and any oils that come from white flowers are extremely pacifying to that. So we're going to talk more about the emotional side and this intensity keyword in the next video, which is also free. If you have a look underneath, you'll see in the description there's a link to my website where we've put the second video, also free as I say to watch. It's just easier for me to put everything in one place on there. But what do we use it for here with physical stuff? So as I say, hot dry skin, anything that is overly red, anything that feels like it's burning, anything that feels very dry, all wonderful for jasmine. It's lovely cooling oil anyway. It's a very good uterine tonic. So without being spoilers for the next video, we would say don't use it in pregnancy because it's so good at making the uterus go, you know, really strengthens the womb. So if you were to use it in labour, for example, it's beautiful at the end stages of labour, or perhaps if you've been in labour for a long time and the contractions just aren't strong enough, you know, then jasmine really brings it, you know, get strong efficient ones. So likewise, if for example you've birthed the baby but the placenta doesn't want to come away, again it helps to bring the uterine to contract again. What's really interesting about birthing is stress will slow the labour down. You know, as cortisol goes up, then the contractions slow down. It's like nature knows that you need to be in a safe space to do that. So this idea, there's a Sanskrit saying that says, where there's jasmine, there can be no worries. I just think it's beautiful, and it's absolutely the way that you feel when you use jasmine. It's the fragrance of the flower. Another reason why it's ruled by the moon is it's stronger in the evening. It's heady and luxuriant, and to be honest, it's hard to think about anything else but feel very languid and sexy and just really embodied in my womanhood, you know. Actually, same effect for men. Men feel very masculine under the guise of jasmine. And it's called Queen of the Night, you know. It's incredibly sexy. So of course you can see how this, you know, you massage with jasmine when you go into labour. There can be no worries. Everything else starts moving much faster. But it's really important that you don't do it until the midwife says, yeah, we're in full labour now. It soothes depression, you know. Again, I always say, they just, you can't think about anything else. And it's like, the book I'm writing at the moment is about Melissa, and one of the Melissae were the Greek priestesses, and probably the most famous of the Melissae was the Oracle of Delphi. All of the women that were oracles for Delphi were Melissae, and they would sit out on a tripod over a crack in the ground where all of this smoke seemed to come up, and it was Apollo speaking to them through their vagina. You know, they would channel it through the vagina. And I always say that jasmine is like sitting over that chasm, you know, the energy is fully the vagina, fully. And it comes up and it's just like you can't be anywhere else. You're just completely, intensely you. So for somebody, for example, who finds it difficult to relax in sex, has become, I absolutely hate the word frigid, but there seems to be no other word for me, or has lost their libido, or maybe has been raped, and you know, and there's a million reasons why you wouldn't want to have sex, wouldn't there? And you know what, if you don't want to have sex, don't have sex. But if you do want to have sex and your body is saying, I just don't want to go there, try some jasmine. Jasmine just brings sexuality through, whether you want it to or not. It's just completely womanhood, you know. From the sublime to the ridiculous, it's also very good for sore throats. It's really not written very well on my notes, is it? I can't. It's very rude now, mate. I've got pictures there I can't get rid of. Shh. Sore throat and laryngitis. However, I have to say, I'd be more inclined to go hiss up myself. But you could gargle it. It tastes horrible. Horrible. I hate things that taste of jasmine. But if you like jasmine tea, if you like jasmine rice, then just one drop to gargle is really helpful. But you could just massage on a massage oil with jasmine, and it would help with sore throats and laryngitis. In the last video I did, I couldn't remember the word laryngitis for love nor money. Also, because we're talking sexuality and that down there, very good for genitourinary tract infections, you know, all kind of the same area, isn't it? And think how hot they get, you know, how it burns. I always think of Eddie Murphy. I go, fire shoots out. He goes Irish when I do him. Fire shoots out my dick, he said, when the doctor asked him if it was burning. Yeah, well, okay, we'll pour some jasmine water on it. Cool it. Yeah. Or some juniper water. We've also done the juniper videos this month. Also good for urinary infections. Throwing water, cooling, that energetic shift all the way through. Very, very helpful oil. It's expensive. I would say once you've got your fundamentals in place, then splash out a bit. Get some jasmine. So good for the skin, but so good for being a woman generally. But also a bloke, you know. Sexuality. It's just just the calm, you know. I always think, I don't know if I can put it into words. If you think about Ayurveda split into doshas. So you have like Vata dosha, Pitta dosha, Kapha dosha, and then when all of those come into alignment and they are in perfect balance, then the radiant secret shines through. And the radiant secret is the skin, and everything's in balance, and you've got that glint in your eye, and your hair's all thick and it's just oozing, you know, the radiant secret when everything else is in balance. Although it has an affinity for Pitta dosha, if ever there was something that looked like the radiant secret to me, it's Jasmine, Queen of the Night. So, as I say, we have another video that talks about the emotional, mental and spiritual aspects of the Jasmine, of which there are many. To get that, you need to go to the video link below. That will also talk about the safety, and we'll also talk about how to blend it, because it's beautiful but it's very powerful. So how do you blend it? There will also be, when you go over to that other page, you will see some links to other products that we sell, and in particular I want to tell you about the Recipe Hub, because the Recipe Hub is a monthly subscription if you wanted to sign up to it, and that will tell you how to do all of the recipes that I've talked about today. So specifically we have some recipes for inflamed skin, for rosacea and for razor burn, if perhaps your husband really reacts to the razor and he doesn't like it and it's really sore and sharp afterwards, particularly in the winter, isn't it? We've got a nice recipe in there for that. We've got quite a lot of gynecology recipes using Jasmine. One for endometriosis. That is one of the best areas for using Jasmine. Hot, sore, bloody, clotted, you know, all of that. We have one for miscarriage. If somebody has a miscarriage, they tend not to take it away very quickly these days, and so we have a blend to help with that after it's been confirmed to have not be a viable baby. We have one to help in labour too. So all of those are in the Recipe Hub. There are also other Jasmine ones to do with the mind, body and spirit, but we'll talk about that in the next video when you come across. So have a look at the link below, and we'll get more involved in the card side, the intensity, when we talk about what is Jasmine essential oil good for. But remember, it's an absolute.
You get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications, and then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos, and there will be comments, and if you want to, you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Gagli, and then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.